Hey student, watch this video and learn different ways to use the word still. You're still the one. Yes, I'm sure you're going to like this lesson. If you don't know me very well, hi, I am teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. I invite you to subscribe to my channel because every week I come here with different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. So if you have already done so, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now hit the like button and let's get to work. Still, wow, this is a good word, you know? And here, guys, on my channel, I help really specific students. I help pre-intermediate and intermediate students to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. That's what I do. I even have a program that guides students to fluency. And at this level, you will learn a lot of new information, but you will also go back to information you already knew, okay? And every time you review lessons you already studied, there will be new elements, new pieces of information. So it's important to go back to some basic words like still and learn different ways to use it, okay? And I have another video here on my channel where I explain the difference between still and yet. So check it out, okay? Now guys, stay still. The word still can mean not moving, stopped, calm and quiet. When you're not moving, when you're calm and quiet, you're like a statue. Stay still, you know? So there are some interesting collocations with still in this case. The first one is stay still. Keep still, continue to be still, you know, stay still, keep still while I brush your hair. So maybe when I was a child, this happened to my mom a lot, to my mom and I. My mom was trying to brush my hair and I was like, no, I don't want it. And then she's like, oh, stay still. I need to finish, you know, or keep still. Also another collocation, another common collocation. So come on, keep still. Stop moving your head, keep still. But I don't like it. Yeah, this happened. Maybe you don't know, but my original hair used to be, curly, very, very curly. And every time my mom was going to comb my hair, it was hard, okay? It was a fight. It was a struggle. So I gave her a hard time. You know, it was hard for me to sit. Look at another collocation. Sit still. You know, sit. Still, not moving, quietly and calm, you know, staying quiet and calm, stay still, sit still. So these are possible collocations when you have this meaning, okay? Now, this is another one. Time standing still. This is a nice collocation, nice combination of words, time standing still. Look at the example. Depending on where you go in Europe, again, depending on where you go in Europe, you will feel like time has stood still. So depending on where you go in Europe, you will feel like life has not changed, you know, because, well, I've been to some countries in Europe and you really get that impression that time has stood still. Time hasn't changed. Things are still pretty much the same as they used to be, you know, like really this old charm in many countries in Europe. So I'm really fond of that beauty, like that very particular beauty in Europe, you know, like it feels like time has stood still. It looks like time hasn't changed at all because of the design, the old architecture. It's just breathtaking, you know. By the way, I'm going to London. Woohoo! Very soon. Anyway, so this is the first different use. I hope you enjoyed it. It's pretty common, okay? So now you know. Next one, still. Here, another way to use still is to give that idea, to use it as an adverb to mean despite what has just been said, okay? And the example will make it easier for you to understand. So in this case, it is used as an adverb to mean despite what you said, despite what was said. Okay, despite the fact you said this, despite what was said, blah, blah, blah. It's giving a contrast, because you're going to present a different idea in contrast to what you said before. So look at the example. The weather was cold and wet. Oh, so did you have a good time in London? Well, you know, the weather was cold and wet. Still, we had a great time. You know? So despite what I said before, the weather was cold and rainy, still, I had a great time. So despite what I said, despite what was happening in you know, to the weather in London, I had a great time, okay? So that's the idea. Another example, maybe you will relate to this. Do you like your job? Tell me, I like my job. I absolutely love my job. Now, my job doesn't pay very well, but still, I love it all the same. So even though my job doesn't pay well, I love it. That's what I'm saying. I love my job despite the bad salary. So you see the idea. So despite what was said before, despite what has been said. So my job doesn't pay well, but still is very common, okay? Connecting but and still. Like, but still, I love it all the same. So even though my job doesn't pay very well, look, I'm using even though now. It's a different one, a much more common one. Even though my job doesn't pay very well, I love it. I love it all the same, okay? So it's a very different use of this word, okay? Did you know it? Let me know in the comments. And as I always tell students, to learn a lesson, I must use it. This is what I constantly tell my students in my academy. If you want to master your English, if you want to go from stuck to speaking, you gotta challenge your speaking skills, your vocabulary skills, your grammar skills. And if you want to fix persistent mistakes, when you see a lesson like this one, when you watch a lesson like this one, your next job is to create your phrases. Fluent people create. So take notes, check the examples, and then create your examples. Every day I go on my platform and I correct my students' vocabulary and grammar work. They post examples in the grammar part, in the vocabulary part, and I correct them so that they use what they study. So this is a very important part in the learning process, okay? After you watch a lesson, your next job is to use it, all right? And if you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps the channel. It helps even more when you share a lesson with a friend. And if you're interested, I have an amazing study plan cycle that works as a template to help you organize your English study routine. Check the link in the description of this video, but let's keep rolling, shall we? Next use, still more or still further. Now, I like this one too, okay? Actually, I had this idea because I was watching a movie and then I saw these use. And I was like, I just need two more. So I got the idea because of a movie I watched. So every time I bring you lessons, I am bringing information that I saw in movies that I like to use. I'm using it right now. So you see, I do what I teach. Every time I learn something, I teach something. If I review, I teach. It's my routine, you know, it's what I like doing. So I was watching the movie and I was like, hey, this is nice. I can show them this use. I don't think I talked about this before, and I didn't, okay? So still more or still further, okay? You will use it as to give the same ideas even more. It's just a different way to say even more, okay? It is used to emphasize something that is increasing more, or there is more of something. If you pay attention to even more, when you use even more in a comparative, you're showing a bit of surprise. Oh, this place is even more expensive than I thought it was. Okay, I can say, oh, this place is more expensive than I thought. Okay, fine, that's the correct comparative tense. This place is more expensive than I thought it would be. But then if I add even more, then it's surprising. I'm giving more emphasis and I'm showing more surprise. Wow, this place is even more expensive than I thought it would be. And then I can use it still more. Wow, this place is still more expensive than I thought it would be, because it's the same idea, okay? So there you go. Now, here are some examples. Oh, I planted more flowers in my garden so that it would be still more beautiful. So it would be even more beautiful. So that's the idea, okay? This is one example. Now one example with further, okay? Keep studying so you can improve still further, okay? Remember that further is the comparative of far. Farther or further, okay? So you're already using a comparative here. So further is the comparative form of far, okay? So you have two options, far or further, okay? So keep studying so that you can improve so that you can improve still further. I was going to say even more. Even more is very common, okay? Very, very common. So if I had to choose, it would be difficult, but I think I would be more inclined to using even more. But I'm showing still more because I saw it a few times and I was like, hey, I think this is a good idea. It's interesting to show a different use so that you understand conversations more, okay? Another example, I know you're upset, but losing can sometimes be still more important than winning. This is nice. Everybody likes winning. Everybody wants to win, but sometimes losing can be still more important than winning, because there are valuable lessons when we lose, you know, when we are beat, when we can't win. So it's nice to learn those lessons too, even though we don't like them so much, okay? I understand not everybody likes to lose. Now, my friends, which one is your favorite use? Let me know here. Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Tell me your favorite use of the day. Subscribe to my channel. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.